I have 5 minutes left, so I'm going to read the one page left, and I'll end the video here. And I hope you guys are enjoying this series once again, because once I'm king, I'm not making any videos for you, man. Once I'm king, I'm living my multi-billionaire life with my wife. You can live your life. Because me and my wife this source, you can't do this. Me and my wife are going to live the amazing, beautiful life. I'm going to be king, she's going to be queen. We're going to start Skyscraper, we're going to make those big budget movies, that amazing Last of Us Saints movie. We're going to travel the world, we're going to live our amazing life, buy our nice clothes. Well, you guys are all left behind. Because once I make that final announcement, I'm no longer making more videos. I'm going to keep saying that, man. At first, they felt afraid. Away from the shelter of the wood, far back behind them stood the high place where they had breakfast. Frodo half expected to see the small, distant figure of a horseman on the ridge. So they see a black rider again, obviously, right? So when Frodo, Sam, and Pippin take their journey, the black riders are constantly on their tail. Because they can sense, my theory is they can sense the ring, the presence of the ring. That's why they're on their tail, obviously, right? At first, they felt afraid. Away from the shelter of the wood, far back behind them, they stood the high place where they had breakfast. Frodo half expected to see the small, distant figure of a horseman on the dark ridge, dark against the sky, but there was no sign of one. The sun, escaping from the breaking clouds, as it sank towards the hills that they had left, was now shining brightly again. Their fear left them, though they still felt uneasy, so they're scared of the Black Riders, obviously. But the land, especially after what Gildo told Frodo about the Black Riders, right, being the servants of the enemies, the land became steadily more tame and well-ordered. Soon they came into the well-tended fields and meadows. There were hedges and gates and dikes for drainage. Everything seemed quiet and peaceful, just an ordinary corner of the Shire. Their spirits rose with every step. The line of the river grew nearer, and the Black Riders began to seem like phantoms of the woods now left far behind. So the Black Riders are on their tail. Why? My theory is because they can sense the presence of the ring, obviously. Right? They passed along the edge of the huge turnip field and came to a stout gate. Beyond it, a rutted lane ran between low, well-laid hedges towards a distant clump of trees. Pippin stopped. I know these fields and this gate, he said. This is Bammerfurlong, old Farmer Maggot's land. So I told you they meet Mr. Maggot in this passage, in this chapter. Old Farmer Maggot's land. This is his farm away there in the trees. One trouble after another, said Frodo, looking nearly as much alarmed as if Pippin had declared the lane was a slot leading to the dragon. And so when Frodo and them took the shortcut, it led them to Mr. Maggot's farm, obviously. Farmer Maggot's farm. What's wrong with old Maggot? Asked Pippin. One trouble after another, said Frodo. Right? One trouble after another, said Frodo, looking nearly as much alarmed as if Pippin had declared the lane was a slot leading to the dragon's den. Others looked at him in surprise. What's wrong with old Maggot? Asked Pippin. He's a good friend to all the brownie bucks. Of course he's a terror to trespassers and keeps voracious dogs, but after all, folk down here are near the border and have to be more on their guard. I know, said Frodo, but all the same, he added with a shamefaced laugh, I am terrified of him and his dogs. So Frodo's terrified of Mr. Maggot and his dogs, obviously, right? I have avoided his farm for years and years. He caught me several times trespassing after mushrooms when I was a youngster at Brandy Hall. On the last occasion, he beat me and then took me and showed me to his dogs. Obviously. So that ends, I believe I'm on page 120 right now. So that ends my read-along for what? For chapter 4, which is a short come to mushes. So pretty much, chapter 3 is pretty much what? Frodo and them. Chapter 4 is Frodo, Sam, and Pippin. They wake up in the morning in the Woodhall village. They find out that the elves leave. Obviously, they argue about what path they're going to take. Obviously, either go take the main road or take a shortcut, cut through the bogs, the bushes, the fields, and all that stuff. Instead of taking the main path, Frodo tells them it's better to take the shortcut. That's why it's called a shortcut to mushrooms. Obviously, you take the shortcut, obviously, and the riders are on their tail. They camp, they sing, they hear a noise. You know what I'm saying? They say it's not a bird, when it's really the sound of a black rider. Because the black rider sound like creatures, obviously. On their journey, they camp more. The black riders are on their tail, obviously. My theory is the black riders are on their tail because they can sense the presence of the ring, obviously. And eventually they take a shortcut to Farmer Maggot's field. And then Frodo says he's scared of Farmer Maggot because he's scared of his dogs, and then he's scared of Farmer Maggot. And that pretty much ends the sections that I read for chapter 4. So stay tuned for the next video, the continuation of chapter 4. This is Ivan Mayer signing out. Peace.